If you look around and all the people you know, all the people in your society, all those kinds of things, how many people do you think are settling? How many people are just fine with okay? With okay relationships, with okay friends, with okay jobs, just with an okay life. And do you know why we settle? Because settling for okay is a warm bed. It's a comfortable life. It's not much of stress. It's just, it is what it is. But okay doesn't inspire you. It doesn't create passion. It doesn't create challenge. It doesn't create something great. It doesn't push you to risk it all for something that could be, that might not be, that might seem impossible, but could turn out greater than anything you've ever dreamed of. It doesn't push you to test your potential, to see what could be possible. And this is the problem. And this is the problem with settling for okay. Because it doesn't lead to an inspired life. It doesn't lead to an unforgettable life. It just is. And it's a life repeated. I speak about it often, you know. People who die at 25 but aren't buried till they're 75. Just living the same year after year after year after year on repeat. Sometimes even worse than that, living the same 6 months on repeat. With nothing changing, nothing improving, nothing inspiring. It just is. And look, if you're okay with okay, cool. You've got to do you. But at the same point, if you feel like you're called for more, you are meant for more, that there's something in your life screaming at you to do more, to be more, to achieve more, you have that calling to greatness, then settling for okay and just accepting that this is enough is a slow fucking death march. A slow death of your soul and your passion and your spirit. And you need to find a way out. And every time you are faced with those options and you choose to just continue to settle, you choose to just continue on as you are, average and mediocre and accepting where you are in life, a little bit of you dies, I think. A little bit of you dies every time you continue to choose that path. And as always, you know, your greatness might be different. What your greatness might look like is probably vastly different to what my greatness is. And your greatness might not be impacting the world. It might not be anything that anyone ever knows but you. But as long as you find the fulfillment in your greatness, if you find the fulfillment in the life that you are leading, that is the point. That is the benefit. That is where you get the results and the gain of a great life. And I do firmly believe it comes from, well, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and improving daily. It's about stacking your wins. And then on top of it, not comparing yourself to others, which I think is one of the hardest ones to do. To not compare what your greatness looks like to others' greatness. That it's just about you improving on your current life, day in, day out. That's where it comes from. And that's where you succeed, from just continuing to get better, continuing to improve. And I think it comes from, you have to get uncomfortable. I think you have to make deliberate fucking choices and get uncomfortable. Choose to do things that are difficult, that are going to push you outside your comfort zone so that you can overcome. I find, especially for myself, but I see it in my clients as well, those who are settling, those who stop, who sedate, who don't do the things to push themselves forward. They get into funks, they get depressed, they get sad, they get anxious, they get overwhelmed. Because you aren't pushing yourself forward. You aren't doing the things to challenge yourself, to get yourself outside the comfort zone, to see what is fucking possible. You aren't challenging yourself towards greatness. And so, yeah, it makes you uncomfortable. It makes you sad. You know? And I think we have to find this thing where we're not settling for, is that good enough? We're settling for better every single day. And that doesn't mean you're going to achieve it. It doesn't mean you're going to nail it. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect every time. It doesn't mean that you're going to see progression in every single thing you do every day. But if you're focusing on your wins, if you're focusing on doing better, being better, pushing forward, I think that's where the satisfaction of life comes from. I truly believe that the satisfaction of life comes from the pursuit of greatness, not necessarily the attainment of it. And it comes from doing hard shit, from pushing yourself to do the things that make you uncomfortable. In the pursuit of it, who you become along the way. You know, we've spoken before about the fake it till you make it thing. And that's not about being an imposter. It's not about trying to show off to the world the things that you have that are better than, you know, who you currently are. It's about living as if you were already that man. You know, what would the greatest version of you do? What would the greatest version of you pursue? What would they seek to have in their life? You know, what choices would they make? The tree falls the way it leans. So if you're finding yourself that you're anxious and you're depressed and you're feeling overwhelmed and you're out of your headspace, start looking at the choices you make. Because more often than not, it's not the macro choices, not the big choices, not the large choices, it's the minor, micro, almost insignificant choices that are leading you down this path, that are leading you this way. The majority of our choices are subconscious, without even thinking, just here we are, moments in time. And you must take the moment, you must take the step back and make proper fucking choices. Think about what you're actually doing in each moment. Is this, you know, progressing you towards everything you want or taking you away from it? Is it making your life better or is it making it worse? What is happening with those choices? And you know, I always think this is the funniest one on it, that people want to talk about, like, what should I do? Where should I start? And I was like, the majority of the time you know exactly what you should do, where you should start. What's the beginning moment? What's the things that need to be done? You know what that looks like. It might not be perfect, it might not be perfect aligned, but you know what it is. And we get stuck in this moment. And I saw this one the other day by Chris Williamson. He was talking about it. And he was like, the list of things that aren't doing the thing. So, you know, preparing to do the thing is not doing the thing. Talking about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Writing a tweet about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Talking to friends about doing the thing is not doing the thing. Writing a to-do list for the thing is not doing the thing. The moment everything changes is when you just start doing the thing. That you stop settling for where you're currently at. You stop settling for the life that you have created. You stop settling for what's going on and you start going, well, how do I start doing the thing? And whatever that thing is for you. I've said many times, and I will constantly reiterate it, that I think that exercise and fitness is the beginning stages of it. Is the initial Kickstarter, is the initial programming to everything else you need. It sets you into the mindset. It creates the habits. It creates the discipline. It has the rewiring to get you into the moment, into the momentum, into doing the things that are required. I think this is the separator. I think this is the thing that, well, it spiderwebs out into every other area of your life. It spiderwebs out into the things that you need to do, well, to become the greatest version of yourself. And I firmly stand by it. And people will always push back on this because I think it's an uncomfortable statement to make. But if you aren't in great fucking shape, if you are neglecting your body, your health, your fitness, you are leaving your potential on the table. You are not being the best version of yourself. That doesn't mean you can't be successful in other areas, but it means that you could be more successful. You could achieve more. You could do more. You could be more by getting into great fucking shape. And especially if you're a father, I think it is your duty, your honor, and your fucking obligation to be in great fucking shape. You are setting the standard for your kids. You are setting the standard of what they will view the world as. And if you are a great father, or wanting to be a great father, that starts with being in great fucking shape. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean it's straightforward. It doesn't mean that it's not going to require work. But it's damn well important. And you are going to pass along those skills to your children. You are going to teach them that we don't just settle. We don't just accept. That we do the work. That we chase our greatness. And it builds discipline. It builds work ethic. It builds focus. It builds determination. It builds a healthy lifestyle. It transfers into everything else. And you are setting that fucking standard with the choices that you make, with the decisions that you make, that you show that you are not going to settle for average, that you are going to be the best possible version of yourself, and they should aspire to be that as well. It's the one I always come back to, and I think about it a lot, especially as my kids start to get older, that you will be your son's first hero and your daughter's first love. The choices that you make, the person that you embody, the way you show up in this world will greatly affect their life and how well their life plays out. And it's the one that hit me the hardest when I actually thought about it. And again, as I get further into being a parent, is that one day your children will figure you the fuck out. One day your children will realize who you truly are. And on that day, what version of you do you want them to figure out? Do you want them to realize that dad was a fucking liar? That dad was a phony? That dad wasted his potential? That dad didn't actually pursue anything in his life. He just fucking settled. He decided this was good enough. That this was enough for him. That he didn't want more. That he didn't pursue more. That he just settled when he could have been more. Or do you want them to go that dad was the greatest he could have been? And again, that doesn't have to be pursuing things like money or fame or fortune or anything like that. It could just be the best in everything he did. He was the best dad when he showed the fuck up. He was the best at what he chose to do for his job. He was the best with his physical fitness. He was just pursuing greatness. He always chose to improve, to get better, to make better fucking choices, and he led by example. Which version do you want your kids to figure you out as? Because it's a really dystopian day when you realize that your father is not who you thought he was. And I think it's the most liberating day when you realize that your kids are going to base that on you. So choose well the version you want to be. Choose well the version you want them to figure out that you are. Because that fucking matters. And, well, to stop fucking settling in this life. It's really, really easy to settle. And the majority of the world will settle. The majority of the world is just like, that's good enough. Never, I believe, in the history of the human race has it been easier to fucking excel, to be great at something. But it's about making that fucking decision. It's like that concept of if you want to be in the top 5% of any skill, all you have to dedicate is 18 minutes a day. That's right, 18 minutes a day for pretty much any skill will put you in the top 5%. Now, again, the top 1% of that is a whole different ballgame. But to get into the top 5% is 18 minutes a day. The bar is so low to be great in this world. To be great at things and to fulfill you with passion and joy and courage, to just put it out there and risk it, to see who you could be, to see who you could become. There are more opportunities than I think ever before to get yourself out there and to become something great, to become the greatest version of yourself. So why continue to settle? Why continue to settle? Why continue to make the choices of average, of okay, to piss away your potential when you have the opportunity for greatness in any aspect of your life? To push forward and to see what that could truly look like. I think it's time that you step up and you see what that can look like. Apologies for that. Resistance trying to undermine my message there for you to pursue your greatness swallowed a fucking fly. But, as I was saying, I think it's time to stop settling for average, to stop settling for okay, to stop settling for just whatever you've got going on in your life and start pursuing your greatness. Not just for you, but for your children, for your wife, for your partner, for your friends, for your family, for all those who would benefit from you stepping the fuck up to be the greatest version of you. You have no idea how much potential you're leaving on the table and how much better, not just your life, but everybody's lives around you could be if you decided to see how far you can take this, to see what is possible for you, to see what potential you have on the other side, to stop settling and start chasing your greatness. So, if you are ready for that, if you are ready to risk it all, to see who you could be, then shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness daily. Let's begin that process and see what's on the other side. If you're not quite there yet, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. And lastly, as always, if you found value in this, if it spoke to you, if you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Because like everything in Chasing Greatness Daily, I am here every single day, without fail, without exception, to share this with you. So I want you to hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss a single one of these, because I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.